year, and not what happened on the outside and in the world. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is inside. Look inside. Take stock of what you've done, what you wish you could have done, and what you want to do. Those are the three things that on New Year's Eve, it's a new beginning. And it's a wonderful new beginning. But just remember, whatever you decide you want to do, I want to tell you right off the bat, you can't do it on your own and by yourself. You need the Lord to do that. And one of the things to be in right standing with the Lord, that's always a good thing, isn't it? And we want to be in right standing of the Lord for sometimes even selfish reasons, because we want to be close to Him. And we can't do that at times. And one of the reasons that the people tell me, I don't know, lately I just can't get close to God. It's just, it's very hard. I don't feel excited about God. There's always a reason, an underlying reason. And one of the reasons the Lord wants me to talk about, and let me read to you in the scripture from Matthew. And we'll go to Matthew 5 and verse 23. And it says, therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother and then come and offer your gift. It doesn't say anything in this scripture about you having unforgiveness towards someone, but it addresses the point that someone else, your brother can be somebody in the church, your brother or sister, it can be your neighbor, it can be in your family, that they have something against you. And the interesting thing about this scripture is it doesn't address you as you read it, that you need to go and say, I'm sorry. But what it does do is straighten things out. Communication is a wonderful thing, but it's also a difficult thing. So if you realize that your brother has something against you, says, put down your gift, don't go to communion, don't go to the Lord, but go to your brother or sister first. And what can you say to them? What in all practicality can you do that would straighten things out? Well, one of the questions, and you can ask them after you've prayed and asked the Lord to clean your heart, and that you have the right attitude towards that brother or sister. And apparently in the scripture, it says that you do. So you go to your brother and examine your heart. Do I have anything against him or her? And if you do, forgive them and ask the Lord to forgive you. And then the pivotal question you ask them, is there anything I have done to offend you? Well, and their first reaction is, no, of course not. As a Christian, no. And you can tell by their reaction that they actually do have something against you. And if you sense that, you said, well, I think you do, and I must have done something to offend you, to upset you, to reject you, or to treat you with unkindness. I didn't mean to do it. And maybe it was just a misunderstanding. Could the two of you not just get back to the kind of relationship that we had? I would love that very much, because I miss you. I miss our fellowship. I miss our relationship. And I will do anything to overcome this barrier that is between us. So I ask you to forgive me if I've done anything. But you have to tell me what it is, and then I can really ask you forgiveness. And if they still have that wall up and if they still don't want to react to you, then there's nothing you can do but pray for them. But to me, then I said, if you ever change your mind and you want to talk, I would love that, because I value our relationship and I don't want to give it up. So that is how you straighten out. So, but if you know that you've done something wrong, you tell them, I think it could be that when I said such and such, I didn't mean to hurt you, honest. I didn't mean to offend you. Please forgive me. You are very, very important to me, and I love you. And tell them you love them. Tell them you want that relationship restored. And then it's almost a guarantee that they say, well, there was something that you did or said, and I will tell you what it is. And when they do, don't defend yourself. Say, if this has hurt you, I am so sorry. Let me tell you what background I come from. This is what I really meant to say. This happened to me the other day. And I had said I'm a very strong person. Everybody tells me how strong I am. I don't feel all that strong, but people somehow tell me I am. So I must be. And I don't fight it anymore. But I always say, Lord, help me to be gentle and kind. And so I think the Lord does. And yet sometimes I still come across as very strong, straightforward, what they say, shooting from the hip. That's not all bad. You see, your basic character, the one that you were born with, the one I was born with, I was born with a strong appearance, with somebody who's always self-confident. Well, let me in on a secret. I really am not. I have the same feelings of insecurity that everyone else has. Maybe I just know how to cover it up a little bit better. But we all have those insecurities. And so, the basic character we cannot change. But what I can do is to be very careful how I put things. But you know, in the heat of the battle, and I was in this group, and somebody said something, and I said, no, that's not what I mean. And I said it just like that, very strong. And they were offended. They were intimidated. And I didn't know that. I just heard from the Lord, and I wanted to show them what I heard. And after I explained it to him, or to them, you know, she said, oh, I didn't know that's what you meant. And it immediately straightened out our relationship. You see, we cannot overcome our basic character makeup, but we can soften it by asking the Lord to do that for us. And so, after it was all said and done, our relationship was not only restored, but it was strengthened. You see, when you go to your brother or sister and want to straighten things out, don't try to be right. Just try to be kind. And even apologize, even if you're convinced you didn't do anything wrong, you didn't mean anything wrong. Just look at it as love and kindness, and not to be a stumbling block to the other person by our very normal nature. And then learn from that. You know, I need to learn not to come on so strong, but for that I have to be aware of it. And I'm trying so very hard, honest I do. And still, it doesn't always work out, does it? But as long as you have that love for the other person, as long as I'm willing to go to that other person, I said, please, let's straighten things out. Because I love you, because you're important to me, because I value our friendship. And if I have offended you, please forgive me. I will try to do anything to change and ask the Lord to help me. So let one of those Year's resolutions be that we straighten up our relationship. It doesn't even mean that we've done anything wrong to each other. Sometimes it just helps to sit over a cup of coffee and share our feelings toward one another and share our how we think, how we came to the conclusion by what we said, and make sure that it has nothing to do with trying to offend the other person. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship. And if you can communicate with someone in an honest, loving way after you think that they have something against you that you did, that will nurture a relationship that was broken. It will strengthen it. It will make it even stronger than it was before. So I ask that you examine yourself today. And if you know that anyone in your family, in your church, in your neighborhood has something against you, go to them. Instead of buying a bunch of flowers, go to them with your heart wide open and say, I value our relationship. Can I do anything to strengthen it and to be the person that you need me to be? So because that is one of the things and the reasons the Lord put you on this earth, is to be a blessing to someone else. And that doesn't always mean it's easy, but it is what He wants. And He says, love one another as I have loved you. You see, Jesus doesn't take offenses, does He? Jesus does not hold a grudge. He forgives and He loves anyway. Can we do the same? So I ask the Lord to bless you and keep you and let His face shine upon you and give you peace and a heart that is open towards others. And you know that would cure everything in the church, trust me, an open communication. So I ask you to just have a wonderful, blessed new year and let the Lord, let His love shine through you.